generation cheese puller. You know, like they've been doing this.
Is that the term for it? Cheese puller?
I mean, I'm making it up as I go along. But I feel like everyone's kind of been instilled in their culture for so long that, like, if you have to pass the torch, your son can make just as good of a pizza as you can because that's been y'all's thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds you of when you go to a foreign country where everybody does one thing and they do it really fucking well.
Right.
That's kind of what it felt like in New York. Like, this is what they do well. You don't go here for a sandwich. You go somewhere totally different.
Yeah.
You don't go here to get chicken wings with your pizza. You go somewhere totally different.
Yeah. Or it's like if you're going for certain items, like if you want to get like Italian products, if you want to do that, you have that option. Like you go to that store to get your fresh baked bread or some shit like that. There's just nothing like that in Denver.
So as someone that is lazy as fuck and uses Instacart to, when it's snowing or groceries and I'm hungover, I'll have anything delivered. I can't fathom how anybody would ever be able to do like grocery shopping and then have to like get on the bus or get on the train.
They deliver it there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have to go delivery. Whereas I do delivery out of pure laziness. I think it's almost a must there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if you pick where you shop or you just go to the most convenient bodega, as I like to use the term.
God, I wish we had bodegas.
They don't card and cigarettes are $20 a pack.
Scratch-offs are readily available.
They definitely have scratch-offs. So shout out to our guys over at the 7-Eleven. But there's something about the bodega. It's a little bit different. You can buy beer and just walk out with it in your hand, crack that bitch, and get on the train. It was fucking awesome.
People give zero fucks up there, dude. You're surrounded by so many people. They ain't got time to deal with that shit.
Okay, so you'll hear this on future podcasts with guests that are coming. But I mentioned this, I was walking a block, and you see the whole range of emotion. You see someone smiling like they just got engaged, someone just got dumped, someone just lost their job, someone just got a promotion. Like every time there's someone clicking their heels wanting to go home, there's someone just saying, "Suck it, world! Yeah. I killed it! I just knocked it out of the park."
Someone trusted a fart they shouldn't have.
I mean, there's a lot of those on the sidewalk. Saw a lot of people that trusted farts in life and just they never turned out.
Okay, so this is one thing we're totally switching gears here. I know you are a big dumplings fan, and we're all big Asian food fans and all that good stuff. But I really haven't experienced good Asian, besides going to the momofuku places and stuff like that. I haven't gone to traditional dim sum and stuff like that. Did you do any of that? Because I have to do that. I feel so ashamed. Okay, so yeah, I did. I definitely hit Chinatown up. Shout out to our boy Pascal. Friend in town, I was hungover as fuck, and I was like, you know what I need? Fucking nudes and dumps. And so, boy, did we ever. We hit up the world famous, everyone had kind of given us the advice, Joe's Shanghai. Okay. Which, by the way, I recommend getting there. I don't know what time we got there, probably noonish. And luckily, Pascal had grabbed a table spot, but it's very much like the Denver dim sum scene, where you're sharing a table. In New York, you're sharing a table with 99% people that don't either choose not to speak to you or don't speak English. And so we were sitting across from these two Asian ladies who didn't use any English throughout the whole meal, spoke to the waiter in English, or didn't speak to the waiter in English, such and such. But we knew that the go-to was the crab and pork soup dumps, XLBs, whatever you want to call them. Dude. They were so, it was the most amazing thing. And I was so hungover. I was just pouring the juice down my throat. And so it's not shout out to Lon and his show Lon dumps that are really well known around here. He does his with a French onion and Gruyere cheese as his liquidity. These folks use this broth that comes from this crab and this pork bun. It was butt fucking amazing. That was probably the best thing I ate, in a bite. How affordable are we talking? It was 15. So we got that, and then we got there's pictures online we got some nudes as well. Again, we got some sort of Singapore nude, but we literally said, we'll have what those ladies are having. And the guy just looked at us and nodded. And then we grabbed, a beer, and we drank a little of the tea. So it was very affordable. Again, probably $15, $20 a head for a round of dumps a head, and then we split a nudes. And it was great. And they try to turn those tables so quickly, and I was just sitting there sweating, struggling, hungover as fuck. And I was like, this is the meal. This is what turns your day around. And boy, by God, did it. It was amazing. So when you do go back, shout out to everybody everybody in the round table said Joe's.
Everybody online said Joe's. Joe's is a great place. And then there's all these obviously little one-offs that are next door and down the street. So you can grab like food fare for the walk, and then you can walk wherever the fuck you please. You know, like it's fantastic.
So do you feel like there's this kind of sense that everything is more authentic, like they don't stray so much toward the American appetite, or do you feel like it's different just depending on who you are? Like, for instance, like the pizza up there. Like on a Denver, New York scale, how would you just say it's just...
I mean, they're not all better than like the Hops and Pies or the Blue Pans or the Atomic Cowboys, which I enjoy thoroughly. Walter's has got a good pizza going down right now. I don't hate that at all. Now, we've used the reference, a Denver 7. What is that in New York? I would say if it's a Denver 9, it's probably like a New York 7. So there's a 2-point buffer.
2-point buffer?
At least because it's just... I mean, South Federal produces some fucking fire-ass Asian food, so I'm not going to slight. I mean, New Saigon is some of the. I mean, I didn't really tee off on Vietnamese food while I was there,
right?
But like, they do their one niche or niche. They do their thing and they do it very fucking well. I think New York is very similar in that it's pocketed. Like there's a pocket here. Don't go get pizza from the opposite side of like up in Bougieville where they're just going to bleed you dry or, just for the namesake or
Papa John's.
I didn't see a lot of PJs. I can't believe
they're there.
Are they?
They're there.
I wonder if Peyton Manning owns those. Shout out to PM. We know you're listening. But yeah, so I mean, it's not like Joe's was like revolutionary, but those soup dumps were fucking fire. So I will say that like they didn't like create the wheel, but by God, did they polish the side of their wheel? They're not having a lot of flats.
I like that.
That's the best way to think of it in that regards.
All right, so we've done like Italian with pizza. We've had a little bit of ethnic with Asian food. What else kind of happened before we get to like the Bon Appetit? Like what all like?
So one night it did rain on us. We did a sushi tasting menu. I don't know what the Japanese word for it is. It starts with an O. Okinawa. Whatever. We did the chef's tasting menu with the group from the Toll Brothers. And so, they knew exactly. I think it's called Sushi on Jones. And there's only like 10 seats in the whole spot. And it's fucking coming down rain. And the guy just brings you, it's like 12 courses. But literally, as soon as you put like one bite in your mouth, the next bite is ready.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And so the seafood, because shout out to our boys over at, the fish market here and the crew over at Sushi Den, the sushi is fucking fire. But I just like sushi everywhere.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it's as good as Japan because I can't speak to that. But, I mean, it wasn't like.
One of these days.
Yeah. We'll take that shit international. We're not scared. But it was really fucking good. So on the level of sushi, from my experience, we're going to use the 2-point sliding scale, almost like a golf handicap. I'd say it's 8 there, it's 7 here. So we're actually gaining a bump there. It wasn't like, oh my God, I've never had this before, because we have Uchi and we have Sushi Den and Matsuhisu. But it was, by God, it was delicious. And it was really cool because there's that whole conception of like no one gives a fuck about you in a restaurant or in the train or anything like that. Nah, everybody was fucking cool as cucumbers. I mean, I was obviously gripping and ghosting right there at the table. We'll get into the whole fact that New York's not marijuana friendly. That's news to me. I didn't know it was legal there.
What?
Yeah, it's illegal in New York. So
yeah, no, how come you didn't know that?
I just assumed because they're so fucking far left that the whole state was liberal. And
yeah, but can you just imagine like trying to control, like, just think of like one borough in Manhattan trying to regulate weed operations in that like they do here in Denver. I mean, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Maximize that by 100? That would be a logistical fucking nightmare.
So what is it? It's Houston Street, Broadway, and then Park and Madison are like kind of all perpendicular to each other, but they're all just a clusterfuck of people and random shit stores, bodegas, 99-cent pizzas, fucking homeless people defecating everywhere. It's all of that. Now just start throwing a bunch of weed signs up, and that's what I would imagine. That's what I expected.
Could you imagine back in the day? Well, no, I guess they had banned it if we would have been living in New York in our 20s, but when you could smoke cigarettes in a fucking restaurant, that's like almost as worse as smoking in a plane. Like, can you imagine? Because there's a lot of fucking smokers up in New York. And maybe it's just the fact that there's a lot of fucking people, But in general, a lot of fucking people smoke. I think per capita, like, their smoking rate is huge.
I'm so glad you brought that up because when I went out there, I brought a couple packs of cigarettes. I brought a couple Juul pods.
Yeah, because they're like $15 out there.
Yeah, and so I had everything I needed to smoke I brought with me originally. By God, smoking is back. As a smoker myself.
People puff tough in term.
Dude, lung darts.
Shout out to our friend Doug.
Yeah, and Philip Morris, because, oh my God, lung darts are being thrown all over that motherfucking city. And so, obviously, this doesn't do well with our Denver demo, but you can just flick that bitch wherever you want when you're done. I was like flicking them out and putting them in the trash can on each block, and people were like, that we were walking and filming and shit. They were like, what the fuck are you, just flicking it at that homeless guy. Who cares? Let's keep going.
Excuse me, sir, do you work for like Greenpeace or something?
Yeah. Are you part of like New York Department of Transportation and Sanitation? Like, I was the only one throwing cigarette butts away in the city. They were like, just flick it, man. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, Puff and Duff is huge up there. So shout out to our smokers, all those that don't want to live those last 10 years. I'm with you. It's great. But I forgot what we were talking about before cigarettes, because when you said that, my mind went straight to tobacco. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. You mentioned what other ethnic food. The sushi was bomb. What was really cool was just being able to get food at 4 a.m. on your way home, like a falafel, or you get a fucking gyro, and I love a gyro stuffed with french fries. I'm guilty every country I go to. Those things are fire. I just enjoy shitty food. And so it was great. I did not see a single fucking Popeyes up there, which is probably, it's blasphemy. That's why that city sucks.
Oh, they're there too. They're there.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are. But one thing I also noticed, okay, so we've done Asian, both Japanese and Chinese. We've done Italian. Let me see what other meals I did. So shout out to Chef Carl Ruiz. He was going to be a guest with us that week, but he unfortunately passed away about 2 weeks before the episode, or before I was in New York. So the episode never happened. So I spent that day going around the city, and he used to do something called Ruizing, which is, he has a bunch of restaurants up there, but he goes around and just eats bargain meals. And so he would stop in places and be like, well, I had to try it because it was $1. So that was kind of the mindset I had. So I got off at Harvard Docks or whatever, near the Pinecone or the Vessel or whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh yeah, that's something I want to check out. Like,
yeah, it's very neat.
Very new.
Yeah, it's an architect thing, and there's people taking pictures and like trying to hold it up like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
It's near like the High Line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly where it is. So the High Line, that area is really,
Chelsea Market, I think,
did that as well. We'll dive into that. Holy fuck, the talent in the Chelsea Market. God damn. But anyway, so back to Ruizing. So for Ruizing, I started with having like a bagel sandwich at some place in Mid-City, and then ate hot dogs and dollar slices of pizza all over town. And so had a hot dog like 4 or 5 different places, and like would eat half of it for the camera. And be like, all right, I can't fucking do this anymore. I can feel the sodium building up in my throat. Like,
gout.
Yeah, I was gouting about for sure. Shout out to GG. I know you would appreciate it. But the bagels, no offense to our boy Josh Pollock, but they're so fluffy.
They're huge. A lot of them are really big, but they are
tie-dye and all the other ones. They're a little gimmicky in some aspects, but I mean, just getting an everything bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese all day.
But I mean, they're bagels. They just, I don't know. They're just dense. I don't know. It's like you manage to squeeze a whole loaf of bread into a 1-inch diameter.
Yeah, so if you're gluten-free or gluten intolerant because your parents told you you're afraid of grass, you may want to turn this podcast off now because we're going to do a little circle jerk to bread. So first off, fuck yes to New York bagels. New York bagels, that's where like ours are like a 6 and theirs are like a 10. So they get the handicap buff there. Whereas the pizza may be closer, the sushi was closer. The bagel difference between Denver and there it's literally night and day. It's Denver and New York. Okay.
Yeah.
That one I can understand.
Yeah.
That preconceived notion, that's for real. The accents of people in bars are also fucking for real. Oh my God. Every bartender had one of those just fucking New York bullshit accents. And I was up there while they lost all their baseball games in the ALCS. So that was
man,
fucking
I bet
hilarious.
they're pissed.
Yeah, because they're all just like, I mean, there was guys with their shirts off and ripping their shirts off, and they had gold chains. I think the term is Guido. There were fuck tons of Guidos up there, man. Oh my God. I couldn't stop